HarperCollins and HarperAudio present The Lamb, a novel by Lucy Rose. Performed by Emma Rydell.
1. On my 4th birthday, I plucked 6 severed fingers from the shower drain. The tub yellowed near the plug hole, and there was a peachy hue up the curve of the bath. It was the same colour as my skin. Milky and a little buttery, like the outer edges of a bruise. Mildew and dried-up water peppered the glass screen. Black mould had crawled up the plaster and between the grout. The bathroom was small, and the dark corners harboured cobwebs, rings of damp and hairline cracks. I wanted to lick the black speckles of mould littered along the wall. I hoped it would taste as it smelt, like musty brambles or rain splashing in a muddy puddle. The first finger I picked up had purple polish flaking away from its nail. The second was clean of cosmetics, but it was short, bitternut and uneven along its ridge. My fingertip followed the edge of the nail. When I looked down at the plug hole, I realised the rest of the fingers were too far gone to tell anything about who they'd once been attached to. All I knew is that, at some point along the way, strangers had come to our homestead and Mama had gladly taken them in. There had been at least one girl wearing purple nail polish, and a clean-cut boy who nibbled at his fingernails when he was nervous. The boy was especially nervous around Mama, wide-eyed and alert. They had strayed too far from the main road and ended up here, tangled up among the knotted hair gathered in our shower drain. The girl liked Mama very much, before she was reduced to just a couple of fingers at my feet. Mama plied her with wine and they danced to old cassettes in the living room until it was dark. We mixed the wine with mashed-up hemlock, just enough to make her stray woozy, but not enough to harm us when we later consumed them. Mama told me it was a hex, one that took them to slumber, calm and quiet. It made their lungs slow to a pulse. The boy sat, taking up very little space. He watched as Mama slowly took the girl's clothes off. It started with one of Mama's bony fingers sliding beneath a spaghetti strap and plucking it from the girl's shoulder. Then she left a trail of messy lipstick kisses across the girl's collarbone, probably imagining just how she would taste after being seared. Mama told me she loved the strays she took, and this is how she showed them. The girl danced as Mama stripped her down one piece of clothing at a time. Their eyes were locked. That was when I knew Mama was hungry. She told me a good meal had to feel happy and whole before it was consumed, otherwise the meat would taste bad. We are what we eat, Mama always said. I wondered if it was worth the fuss of making them feel loved if we were only going to pull them apart in the end. I put the severed finger with the purple nail polish back down onto the drain. Following the freckles of black mould along the wall, I traced my fingers. It was dark like charcoal. In my wake, I left the outline of a Ferris wheel in a pirate ship on the wall. As I looked at my blackened hands again, I had to know how the mould tasted. When I put my fingers in my mouth and sucked, the dusty blackness I dreamt of had the same earthy must as dried-up summertime brambles. The black mould was probably crawling down my throat, leaving little black pinpricks across my lungs. I wish Papa could have been here to see the mess, but he'd left a long time ago, and I didn't know if he was going to come back. I spent the night helping Mama make stock out of the bones. 2. Mama had roasted the nervous boy's rump slowly, toasting it off with a few drops of vegetable oil. Peeling away his skin and plucking out her favourite organs, she stripped him head to toe and frozen the rest of his body in pieces. Only minutes after serving him up, her plate was licked clean. Mama ate quick and messy before going to the hearth. Sleeping by the fire and breathing in the embers, Mama dreamt. A big meal always made her tired. Even though her hair was matting in the soot and ash, in slumber she was beautiful. In this little pebble-dash cottage, we packed everything we could into one room. There was a battered old couch before the fire, kept company by an old telly that dithered on static every time we changed the channel.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?